You ever have one of those days where you pull up to your own place, and before you've even killed the engine, there's someone marching toward you like she owns the joint? That was me, barely had time to step out of my truck before this woman, all heels and attitude, was crossing the gravel so fast it sounded like she was firing warning shots at the ground. She had a clipboard clutched tight like a sheriff's badge. "Excuse me," she barked. "You can't park there. This is private property." Now, I grew up around folks who mind their own business, so I just smiled, shut my truck door, and said, "Ma'am, I own this property." She blinked. One of those slow, tight blinks, you know the type. "Oh no, you don't. This ranch is under the Oak Hollow Homeowners Association. I'm Angela Faircroft, president, and you're trespassing." I almost laughed, not because it was funny, but because the confidence was just spectacular. "Lady, this land's been in my family for 150 years. I told her. "I just inherited it. Name's Trevor Jennings." Her face didn't budge, just that little curl at the edge of her lips. "That may be so, but you still have to follow our covenants. Fencing, vehicles, everything." She looked my truck up and down like it had tracked mud on her white carpet. I could practically feel the ghosts of my great-granddad's cattle rolling their eyes. "We can. We bought the lots east of you, so we get jurisdiction." I took a step closer, kept my voice calm. "You do realize this is illegal, right?" She just straightened up, tossed her hair. "You clearly don't understand how HOAs work. You'll be receiving a fine for noncompliance." My jaw tightened, but I wasn't about to get baited. "Look, Angela, I'm not just a guy with a hat and a deed. I'm the governor of this state." For once, she blinked, actually lost her words. "You're what?" I gave her a look. "Governor Trevor Jennings. Sworn in last January. Maybe you missed it while you were busy policing lawn gnomes." For half a second, her hand actually shook, but she was tough. "You'll be hearing from our legal team," she snapped, then stormed off down the gravel. I knew that wasn't the end of it. Some people would rather go down swinging than admit they're wrong. What she didn't know, I had cameras, old maps, and a legal team that didn't flinch. By morning, I was sipping coffee with the original surveyor's map from 1873 laid out on my table, and my state attorney general, old college buddy, laughing so hard he nearly spilled his mug when I told him about Angela's grand plans. "She said that? Seriously? Word for word? Want me to send land registry out to smack her down?" "Not yet. Let's see how much rope she gives herself." That's when I saw the white SUV crawling down the drive. Angela was back, this time with two guys in matching polos and khakis. Looked like mall cops on a field trip. "We're conducting a topographic inspection," she said before I could open my mouth. "We'll need access to your back pasture." "I don't think so," I shot back. She got louder. "Article 16 says we can assess pre-approved zones." "Pre-approved by who?" "The board. Your board doesn't have jurisdiction here." One of her men cracked open a drone case like he was about to launch a commando raid. The other rolled a measuring. "Well, 5 feet across my gravel. That's 2 counts of trespassing and a violation of privacy statutes," I pointed out, gesturing at the cameras. "You're bluffing," she said, but her voice was thinner. "You see that ridge?" I said. "There's a fiber line to a wildlife monitoring station, protected land. Fly a drone over it, and you're looking at a federal charge." One of her guys froze up. Angela narrowed her eyes but finally backed off, hissing something about consequences. I watched their SUV drive away, knowing she'd be back, but also knowing I had every move documented, right down to the last angry footstep. That night, I paid a visit to Darla at the records office. Old-timer, knows where every body's buried. She barely blinked when I explained Angela's little annexation fantasy. She's been pushing county zoning board for years, trying to redraw boundaries. Heard she's been offering grants for votes, too. "Kickbacks?" I asked. Darla just slid a thick file across her desk, gave me a look like, "You figure it out." Next morning, my phone rings, my chief of staff. "Angela just filed an ethics complaint against you. Says you threatened her." "Did she include the trespassing and illegal drone flights?" "Nope, but the footage you sent already has timestamps." That evening, I come home and find a manila envelope on my porch. No note. Just photos, long-lens shots of my place. Someone knew the one spot my cameras couldn't catch. Let me tell you, you sleep lighter after something like that. I called in Ramirez, our local deputy, former Army, sharp as a tack. He looked over the photos. This is pro work. And it's surveillance. Showed him the drone footage, too. Think we have enough for criminal trespass? Absolutely, he said. And if they cross that ridge, the feds will be waiting. So I went to work. More cameras, thermal sensors, pressure plates. I was done playing nice. Angela wasn't just playing. At being Queen Bee, she was running a racket. That's when the first twist hit. I got a call from a woman named Evelyn Greaves, voice shaking but determined. They forced me off my land. Said it was condemned, county approved. I couldn't fight it. We met at the old courthouse. She brought photos, demolition notices signed by someone who didn't exist. Everything pointed back to Angela. And you could feel it. This was bigger than just me. I called Ramirez again. Told him to pull every Oak Hollow property transfer in 2 years. 17 homes, 9 flagged as condemned. But no county records, just demolition crews subcontracted through a Nevada shell company. It was fraud, plain and simple. I took it to the Attorney General. This is racketeering, housing fraud. Coercion, he said. Let's move. Within days, Evelyn called again, scared this time. There's a black SUV watching me. I told her to come to the ranch. Troopers would keep her safe. That night, we set a trap, dummy trailer, fake invoice, the whole deal. Sure enough, 2 nights later, motion sensors tripped. Caught 2 guys red-handed, both with records in property fraud and evictions. Angela tried to spin it, said they were rogue. But the money traced straight back to her. The AG's office dropped the hammer. Raids, arrests, bank accounts frozen. Angela went down, her vice president ran, the treasurer vanished. In a final act of poetic justice, every property annexed was returned. The HOA, dissolved by court order. I stood on my porch, mug of coffee in hand, watching the sun drop behind the ridge, peace for the first time in months. But you know what? It didn't just end there. The ranch became a gathering place. Folks came out of the woodwork. Curtis, a former appraiser, who'd lost his job after flagging undervalued sales. A mother whose son broke his arm trying to fix water the HOA cut off. More stories, more proof of what Angela and her crew had done. Strip the record clean. You get your return. I get the control. You could hear the arrogance, the utter lack of shame. By the end, indictments were flying. Angela's attorney begged for a deal. None was offered. The jury didn't take long. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing was brutal, and the state legislature passed a new law. No more secret HOA expansions, fines capped, every action audited. Funny how fast things change when regular people stand up. We threw a cookout after the trial. Neighbors, families, folks who'd seen their lives upended. Curtis carved a sign for my porch. This land